Okay.
Hi, I'm Nikki,
Hi, I'm Kat.
and we are Cat and Mouse Astrology. And we are here to talk to you about the full moon in Aquarius. It's beautiful.
There's a grand cross in the sky. That's pretty exciting.
It's gorgeous. It's got a great attunement, even if it's got a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's something I think that could be very motivating for all of us. Could be motivating towards a change.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for the motivation in it. Let me share the screen. And here it is. And I'll shrink it down a little bit. This kind of changes things abruptly and maybe creates a need for an adjustment. This
Yeah. Yeah.
particular moon, yeah. So we've got one interpretation. There's many interpretations, and we'll look at a lot of different, archetypal possibilities here. But one is people's emotions. It's in Aquarius here. We've got the moon conjunct Saturn. So people's emotions culminate because it's a full moon, resulting in resistance or stoppage because it's Saturn. And there's a change because we have a square here with Uranus.
Hmm.
And there's a man involved in this change as represented by Mars and perhaps a king.
Oh,
So, I mean, and forgive me, I'm going to go all full out towards the larger perspective here, but we just had a couple of days ago a raid of Mar-a-Lago.
hmm.
And to me, I see the king as opposite to Saturn, and Saturn has always been, you know, um, rules. You have to follow the rules. You can't take papers that are important. You can't take the Constitution of the United States and go do something with it. We've had movies based on that with Nicolas Cage, right? It's not allowed. Simply not allowed.
Are
So
you talking about American Treasure?
I
Treasure.
you can't
I've
you
seen
can't
it.
mess
I've
with
seen it.
stuff.
Yeah.
You can't just go
You
take
can't just
papers.
take things.
These papers of the people, these
That's
are
right.
people's rules, and there's emotions around people's rules. People take this seriously, and there's a light
And it's in an
shining on
air
it.
sign.
Say again.
It's in an air sign. It's Aquarius is an air sign. So it's like there's an intellectualness to the emotionality.
Absolutely. So anyway, I was I'm happy to say, because I'm interested in astrology enough to think that it may be, if you look at the archetypes in a really dispassionate way, and you're willing to think about them in a broad way, that in fact they are um, in some ways divinatory. So, like, I wrote
Yeah.
this up and I sent it to you, Kat, long before, well, not long, several days before the news came out that they'd raided Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
And what I think
Right.
is especially interesting is an illusion about a man changes when news is heard about the dark stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Where are you getting that from?
because we had a Mercury sextile. We have a Mercury sextile black moon Lilith.
Oh, Mercury sextile black moon.
So we've got an ease to telling about the dark stuff, right? But we
Yeah.
also have a Neptune sextile. Uh, uh, is it Uranus?
Mars.
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 Thank you, Mars. Neptune sextile Mars. Forgive me. Yeah. So there is something really interesting about, again, Mars being the man, illusion being Neptune, herd being Mercury, and the dark stuff being Black Moon Lilith.
Yeah.
So we did hear about some dark stuff. What I really love about the whole thing is that it has to do with librarians.
Archivists are serious.
That's why it is sort of like,
Archivists. Yeah.
yeah,
They know their stuff.
that's right. They know their stuff. So let's talk, please talk. I mean, look at this configuration. Look at that giant. And of course, the void is falling into this area of Scorpio. So anyone,
Yes.
anyone who has heavy duty Scorpio between, what do we have here? 14 of Scorpio all the way through, 28 of
5.
Scorpio.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really highlighted place here.
I looked up 17 Scorpio
What do
in
we
the
have?
symbol, and it's such the opposite of it's the reflection. It's a woman fathering her own child.
Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah,
South
yeah,
Node.
yeah. So again, let's think about the archetypes a little bit. Imagine we have a circle right here so that there's a square, not just this triangle. So we're looking at the red triangle, but there's also, if we take these two imaginary lines across to the south node, then we have a full-on square, right?
Right.
So we've got, some really interesting archetypes because the south node denotes the tail of the dragon, what is being let go of, maybe literally or figuratively,
Mm-hmm.
and the past. And then the north node is really uniquely conjunct Uranus and Mars. We just left the Mars conjunction. Mars is zipping ahead, where it's going to spend the rest of our lives in Gemini. Or maybe not our lives, that's a big exaggeration. We're gonna get to know Gemini and Mars in a very real way until about April next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
not opposed.
Yeah, that's my natal configuration.
Oh, Mars and Gemini.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been like, really? Do I want to do this? Oh, that's a lot of
Yeah.
energy in that house.
It's a good reset. It's like that'll be like an assertive communications thing.
That is very true. And so,
Yeah.
on a personal level, I mean, whatever is being illuminated here in your house, whoever, wherever you have Leo, that's the home placement, that's the heart and soul of the sun is in Leo. And so Leo is in the sun in Leo is in its most prominent placement, and it's opposite both the moon at the full moon, but also opposite Saturn and square Uranus. So
Great.
there's an energy here that requires some letting go of something over here to balance this out. Otherwise, this is some real intensity. So anybody who has, if you know what is going on in your Scorpio house, if you know if you have any planets there, or if this is an ascendant or a descendant, something like that, this is something to think about because some people are going to have a really heavy letting go at this time.
Uh, yeah, everything's focused on Scorpio because it's all the planets are in the squares apart from
Right,
Scorpio.
right. And we've got the bucket pattern where we've got Mercury leading the pack saying, as the herald, hey, here's what's going on. And then the tail is literally the tail which is Pluto,
Mhm.
our karmic past, our subconscious, what is sometimes hidden that needs to be revealed.
Right.
I don't know. This is some really interesting stuff. What do you think?
I just like the Aquarius full moon always because it's the August full moon and it's like the end of summer. Summer's wrapping up and it's just always a good time. It's like a little bit melancholy for me because I love summer so much. It's like the height of summer in so many ways, like epitomizes summertime. That's not astrological, that's just moon appreciation.
Well, there is something real. I mean, what you triggered for me is, Saturn is also the scythe, scythe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. That big arched tool that harvests the wheat,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I'm thinking of Rick Levine. He talks about Saturn, and Robert Wilkinson talks about Saturn as being such a necessary, if you don't have a backbone, you can't walk around. And
yeah. Oh,
the sun is shining into this area, of maybe where Saturn is, enabling us to chop down the wheat and do those structural things that we need to do.
yeah, structural things. Like Channing Nicholas was saying, this is a boundaries moon, testing of boundaries and reasserting boundaries, which is a very Saturn thing.
Absolutely. Oh, that's real too, especially with the Uranian element here.
Mm-hmm.
Imminent change that will be happening. Where are the boundaries as we move into the change?
Mm-hmm.
And where maybe this might give us a clue where we need boundaries.
Oh yeah. Like in the
Wherever,
houses.
yeah, exactly. Wherever Scorpio is at, your first house, second house, third house, that may be exactly where you need boundaries. That's very interesting.
Or would that be where you would be your boundaries maybe need to change because you got to let go of something?
Yeah,
And maybe getting rid of some of the boundaries that are holding you back and then think about what boundaries you maybe need to add in Aquarius, whatever Aquarius
exactly.
is for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, to me, because it's a sign of the people, what are the socially required boundaries that our emotions are focused on? Sometimes those
Mm,
aren't necessarily the best boundaries for us. We may want to
yeah.
break away from those boundaries, and we have some power to do that with Mars, and we have the future entangled in this. So
Mm-hmm.
we have some impetus to break away from boundaries that don't serve us.
Right. That bowl that can break through things
Yeah,
in Taurus and reset a new foundation for things.
exactly. And again, there's this trine between Neptune, our imagined future, and Mars, the energy we are willing to put towards it in a positive configuration.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I recently heard someone talk about the Neptune Pluto sextile that actually has been going on for a really, 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 really long time.
Yeah, it has.
And I had not thought about it being a stabilizing factor for the craziness of our times, the dystopia of our times, that
Hmm.
the spirituality of Neptune, as we dig in the deep, dark recesses to assess our past and our karmic
Yeah.
reality, that Neptune allows us to, as the higher transfigurate. I'm not sure of that word. It is considered the higher vibration of Mercury,
Yeah.
Neptune. So
Uh,
Neptune may be allowing us some spiritual uh, transformation.
and Mercury is almost going to be opposite Neptune. It's on its way.
Yeah. So it seems to me like, I mean, we've had, I would venture to say, the astrology of our times in the last couple years has been like over the top.
Yeah.
You know, astrologers look at it, and you know, you and I interpreting this as astrologers look at it and go, wow, this is symbolically so accurate for where we're at right now. You know, the huge
Right.
changes in structure and how we feel about it emotionally, how it impacts our future. Um, those things are so relevant, maybe at all times, but especially now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, you know, I'm thinking that these astrological symbols are really helpful in giving us guideposts, if you will.
Yeah.
So
I
let's
want to
sorry, go ahead.
I want to look forward, not right now, but find out when Mercury is going to be opposing Neptune, because at the same time it will then be trining Pluto. And that seems like that would be a really good day for the creative downloads.
Yeah, now we've got a retrograde of Mercury coming up.
Darn.
Right, it may be in between. I want to say it's in September.
Oh, so it might hit that point again and again, like three
Yeah,
times. The
I'll
next
look that
Mercury
up.
retrograde.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really interesting. Let's
I
look
bet
at
that would.
some Sabian symbols, eh?
Okay.
There's a lot. So I mean, you know, looking at what's going on here, we've got the moon that's in opposition to the sun, of course, duh, always that's what the full moon is, but it's conjunct Saturn, moon's conjunct Saturn, square
Yeah,
Uranus. So, and that's not all that's going on, but that's quite a lot, especially with Uranus
right.
conjunct the North Node. So, what do you think of this symbology?
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's read it. The moon, 19 Aquarius, a forest fire is being subdued by the use of water, chemicals, and sheer muscular energy. It's the moon. The sun, 19 Leo, the enjoyment of temporary freedom from rigidly structured social behavior. So a party or a festival. Okay.
You gotta go around without our masks.
Ooh. Saturn, 22 Aquarius. A rug is placed on the floor of a nursery to allow children to play in comfort and warmth. It's funny that Saturn would be at the place of comfort and warmth.
And we've had this symbology before because we've got Saturn going in retrograde motion. So we have already
Yeah,
gone through this point before. We're seeing this
right.
again. This is, you know, already been there.
Right. Saturn is presenting warmth and comfort. The sun is telling you to get past your rigid social structures and expectations and just learn to love life. And the moon is subduing the flames.
Right. Now the vast public park is also interesting for Mars.
Mars, a vast public park, and Uranus. We've had been on this one for a while. A woman airing an old bag through the open window of her room. So that's another one of those like letting go signs.
Right. And I can't again help
Yeah.
but go to that larger um uh social perspective, especially with Aquarius involved in this. You know,
Yeah.
that airing of the bag that we've been through a couple of times, having, you know, somebody just went in to take papers out of a safe.
Right.
We're going to be looking at those papers, and that's kind of an airing, isn't it?
It is an airing. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And a vast public park can just be the entirety of the nation.
right. As we take a look at, you know, what's being aired in that bag, and oh, that's interesting to clean that thing out. But I'm also interested in the rug, because we looked at that before as, you know, something you know, uh, that's the symbol of the people, Aquarius. It has to do with
Mhm.
Saturn, which is, of course, our structures. And do we want to have, I don't know, a nation where we have strong nurseries that allow children to play in comfort and warmth? Or do we want to
Right,
have something that might not be that? What are we
right.
really after here? And I hope that's what we're after. In which case,
Yeah.
there's some symbology that says that airing this old bag in a vast public park might help us to achieve this goal of having a safe, comfortable, warm nursery for what we're trying to nurture, whatever that is.
Mhm, mhm.
So, I mean, even on a personal level, then by airing out the old, I mean, think about it this way: you go clean out that closet and
Right.
you're willing to give away the crap you don't want anymore to that vast public park, have a garage sale, leave it to the open, and that may provide, maybe your old rug can provide warmth to someone's nursery, comfort and warmth.
Yeah.
You gave that away. So there's something in there, and I'm not sure about the forest fire and how that relates. These are some,
I looked up
go ahead.
at the North Node that's yet with Uranus, and it is at this symbol that comes up pretty regularly, it seems like, of a battle between swords and torches, which I think is really interesting that it's at this like exact point. Battle between swords and torches at the full moon and an air sign, and the sun and the Leo of a fire sign, and the swords and the torches and the tarot are the air and the fire, right?
Right.
So it's like this total symbolic thing, like, and I can see in our own personal lives and in the collective, there is a tension between passion, the fire, and the intellect, the air of Aquarius.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really prominent right now.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing of this moon, along with the boundaries and the structures, is that there's some sort of tension going on between the intellect and the passion and the fire and the air.
And what can we or are we willing to let go of to keep
Yeah.
the balance? Because, this could fly apart. And there is a kite configuration, I believe, in this as well. Let me go back to that share.
It would be with Mercury probably and Pluto.
Right. See, we've got a loose kite.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's Venus, Neptune, Uranus, South Node, but then we've also, where do you see the Mercury, Neptune?
I see Mercury Neptune as like the center line of the kite with the
Oh, yeah.
Mars Pluto as the side pieces.
Right. So going between here and here.
Yeah. Pisces Virgo axis.
Hmm. Right. And again, we see the void in here.
Yeah. So right now we're at a Taurus Scorpio axis and a Leo Aquarius axis, and both of those axes are very heavily at play. And then we're approaching Neptune, a Pisces, Virgo.
Right. So I think, what advice would you give to, anyone who is, listening about how to deal with the energy of this moon?
I think that I would say make an effort to be playful. Try not to get stuck in your head think there's going to be a real emphasis on getting stuck in your head. So try not to do that. Try to be more embodied with Taurus being that fulcrum point of change. Try to focus on the body and the playful passionateness of Leo.
Love that. That's perfect. That's wonderful. I
Thanks.
also think of being in the water and going with the waves, but if there's rocks somewhere, you got to swim.
Mm,
And trying to go with the water is in such a way that you're not hurting yourself. Saturn, there's structure there, but you're able to
right.
move with the change that's coming. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to direct yourself, your activities, your thoughts to the future while being willing to let go of what's unnecessary so that
Right.
the sun can illuminate what it is that you're really into, what you're really after.
Yeah. It's probably a good time for some kind of water ritual of cleansing.
Perfect. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, any other final thoughts we want to send folks for this intensely interesting and powerful full moon?
I think that's good. Be playful. Play with your boundaries.
Yeah,
You'll
that's
find
good.
something new that works even better.
And say what?
Find something new that works even better.
Find something new that works even better. I love that. Yeah, be willing to really review your boundaries and
Mm-hmm.
make changes as necessary to meet your needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I love it. All right. Thanks, you guys. We're going to see you at the next moon.
Bye.
Bye.